This is the Paint Pull Project. That's right, kind of a hard one to say, but this is going to give you an overview of the Paint Pull project you're going to make, because there is a lot of thinking that you'll have to do in order to make this successful and exciting for yourself. All right, let's get started with a white piece of paper. You're going to find the center. It doesn't have to exactly be the center, just close enough. And we'll go about 3 fingers to the right or the left. You get to choose. Then we're going to decide what kind of a path we're going to make. This path is going to go from the dot off from the edge of the page. Now we're going to take some blotches of paint, and we're going to start at the dot that we made, and we're going to make kind of a dot to dot right off the page in the direction that we wanted our path to go in. After we have our paint done, we're going to use a piece of cardboard or a hard surface. So here is a squeegee. That could work really well too. With the cardboard, you're going to hold it down over by the dot and pull it across your page. That's why we call this pull art, pull paint art. Then you'll go ahead and collect a bunch of images of something that's going to be going across your page. In my example here, I'm thinking about a snail, like a snail is crawling across my page. I'm using lots of mediums, markers, crayons. I'm using colored pencils, and I'm even taking some water and putting it on top of my markers here. That's going to make it look really neat as well. I'm really exploring the types of snails I want to make, as well as the mediums that I want to make them in. I get to experiment as many times as I want. 4 is a good number to start out with. Then we need to decide how our page is going to go together. Which of these snails am I going to choose? How is it going to lay on my page? I decided that I wanted my snail to be going through a garden or a yard. So I'm actually going to take a crayon and start making little texture marks so it looks like little blades of grass. Now, I'm going to then use liquid watercolor to fill in the rest of the space. I want a lot of color in the background, so I'm going to fill it up and leave no white spots behind. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to cut out the snail that I want to put on my artwork. But if you're like me, you might not know which one you want. You might have fallen in love with 2. So cut them both out and let's explore and experiment to see what the best solution is for this composition. Is it going to be this gray kind of neutral tones or the one with the bright colors? How am I going to lay it down? Is it going to go sideways, or maybe it's going to go vertical? I need to make these decisions before I actually glue down my final piece. I really thought I was going to like this brown neutral one, but I think for this project, this brighter one is going to work better. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this in place. Using a glue stick or some liquid glue is going to be perfect for this project. The most important thing here is that the object that I'm adding onto this paper cannot come off, not even one part of it, so no floppies. I'm taking my finger and kind of moving it around to make sure that this is stuck on nice and tight. Oh my goodness, I love how that looks. Now, if you noticed, I actually cut a little bit too much off from my snail. So what I'm doing is going back with my Sharpie marker and adding that in. And then the last step, the step that makes it the most realistic looking, is adding shadow underneath it. Because my snail is walking across the ground, the shadow's actually going to touch my snail's belly and go along. It's going to make a similar shape to the snail that I've just created.